in 1982, so it's probably actually their 41st season. But
Right.
congratulations to the Mavericks, and man, that's just exciting. You're going to the state championship.
Right, and you had something on Facebook about the 1992 Clinton Dragons, which you and I were at the state championships for that, and it is a special atmosphere.
Certainly was, and that was at Vanderbilt, wasn't it?
Right.
Vanderbilt. And this game is going to be played at Chattanooga, I think Finley Stadium, I believe, 11 o'clock kickoff Saturday morning. Anderson County taking on Pearl Cone, and Pearl Cone's a team that's been to the state. I think this will be their 5th trip to the state finals, and they've won 2 and lost 2. But there you see the championship game coming up on Saturday, and the Mavericks looking to bring it back home.
I think they can do it. They've got all the ingredients. Fabulous quarterback, which I've got some stats on him. Fabulous wide receivers. Fabulous running backs. Really, 2 good running backs. One that got injured early in the year and did more defense than offense, I guess. And Moog came in just out of nowhere and gained over 1,400 yards. And quarterback Martinez had a fabulous year, 52 touchdown passes on the year. My goodness, and that's some good stuff. And 2 wide receivers that have, I think, right at or over 1,000 yards. So
right, you can go on and on with that team they got. They're just they're loaded.
Oh yeah,
very balanced offensively. With Martinez, he's up for the Tennessee Titans Mr. Football, and personally, I think he's going to win it.
I think he will too. I mean, 14-0 resume, and it's as many yards as he has passing too. It's quite an impressive stat.
Certainly is. He's in the 4A finalist with Gabe Borders of Macon County High School, Marcellus Jackson of Fulton, and of course Walker Martinez. And we had the young man on the show first game of the first week of the season. After they defeated Powell, we had him on and got to talk to him, and he's a real nice young man.
Oh yeah.
Also get to see him some at the school I work at. He comes in and works with the kids. We got a program called the Read Option.
Oh, that's good.
And some of the elementary kids, and a lot of the Mavericks come in and take time out of their day. It's usually on game day. On a Friday, they'll come up and they'll have some activities set up for the kids, and they just interact with them. And
that
the
makes
kids,
it all worthwhile, that sort of thing.
Kids love it.
Yeah.
But Chandler, you have the results of last Friday's games? Don't have that? Okay, well, I got them right here in the paper, but also we'd like to congratulate the Cofield Yellow Jackets on an outstanding season. Fell short against Clay County, 40-33. That game was at Clay County. All right, Chandler's got them here. Thank you, Chandler. And just congratulations to Coach Benson Napier and his Yellow Jackets. I think the 12 wins ties a school record for most wins in a season.
It certainly does, and I think the other season was 2014. So I mean they've played some fabulous football, and just came up short. I think Clay County got out to a big lead, and then Cofield really cut the gap towards the end.
That's what I heard. Cofield got down early. I was looking at the box scores before we came in. It was 33-13. Clay County, they jumped out, scored the first 3 touchdowns, but Cofield came back in the fourth quarter mainly, got it down to 40-33. And I heard they had the ball close to scoring to tie that game up.
Well,
that's just a tremendous comeback of the Yellow Jackets.
Exactly. amazed me to, like you were telling me, that they came back from being down like 33-13, and if they could have got it at least to a tie, then they could have gone into overtime. But just a great year by Cofield.
And some of the performers in that game, Cole Hines was 12 of 26 passing, 137 yards and 3 touchdowns. Also had 19 carries for 77 yards and a touchdown. Romel Conlon had 3 catches for 67 yards and a touchdown. Also Eli Roberts, 4 catches, 52 yards and a touchdown. So the Yellow Jackets, that was their second trip to the state semifinals. I mean, that's not their second overall, but in the last 3 years, I think in 2020, they went down to South Pittsburgh and played, and Coach Henry's last season, and this year right there against Clay County. So hats off to the Yellow Jackets.
You better believe it. I'm glad they just year in year out amaze me how they are always right at the top.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many seniors they have on that team. I know Hines is a senior, and I'm not sure what they got coming back, but it seems like they just reload every year.
They certainly do. And being a single-A school and not really that many in the school, they get them all together because they really want to play football and have such a good team year in, year out. So
in the class of AA, the score's not on there, but the York Dragons traveled to Chattanooga Tyner and came up on the short end. That score was 33-0. So with the York Dragons finishing up 9-5 on the season, and I saw something today that was their first trip to the state semifinals, I think since 1990. I believe it might have been. I'm not sure on the exact date. Apologize for that, but
it was a Cinderella season for them. I mean, to get as far as they did, that was good.
Certainly was. And Chattanooga Tyner, they've been in the top. I think they've been right behind Alcoa all year in Class AA, and that's Alcoa's 3A, but Tyner played Alcoa. I guess that's what I meant to say,
exactly.
And that's their only loss was to Alcoa.
Well, that ought to tell you something right there.
Yeah, gave them a good game that I recall, fairly competitive game. In 3A, talking about Alcoa, you see there 38-13 over Giles County. This was a rematch of last year. And Alcoa advancing back to the state. They're going for their eighth state title in a row, I believe.
And that would be the all-time. They would break their old record of 7.
Really had 7 once before.
Yeah, exactly. And that was back in the early 2000s.
Wow.
And they've got linemen 280 and 305, and their quarterback is fabulous. And I mean, they truly do reload every single season.
I think they've got 20 state titles overall.
Yep.
Gary Rankin, I guess he was there when they won some of this 8.
Oh yeah.
Was he there coaching when they won those 7 straight? And I can't remember who
Let's
the coach
see. He
was.
Did he go to Boyd Buchanan this past season, or was it the season before that? Okay.
This year.
So yeah, he had won.
He'd won 7, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Those 7. Then previous coach at one of the other, I can't recall his name. I know Rankin. He was at Riverdale in the early 90s.
Right.
Played against Clinton on that 92 team. They came to Clinton in that state quarterfinal. The Dragons won that game.
Yeah, I did not realize that was Rankin as the coach.
And then he left there, and where did he go after that? Was it? Not sure, but anyway,
No, I'm not sure either.
Anyway, he's the winningest coach.
Boy, he keeps
state,
doing it too.
High school football. So in 4A, Anderson County 29-13 over the Red Bank Lions, and I had a feeling that was going to be a competitive game. I know Red Bank's got a lot of tradition, and they came in with 2 losses. They avenged one of those losses against East Hamilton, and I was keeping up with the game, and Red Bank got on top 13-0 at halftime.
Right, and I remember my sister-in-law, she let us know Facebook-wise. She said it's going to be very hard to come back against Red Bank last week, and we were all just biting our nails about it.
You have some family members down there?
Right, my niece Megan and my grandniece Emily, and also Renee, who's my sister-in-law. So.
Yeah, I wasn't too concerned. I knew Anderson County was down, but we've seen them down this year.
Oh yeah,
a few times. I think to Ray County and Elizabethton in the regular season. Came back to win those games, in dramatic fashion. This is not as dramatic, this win here, but they went into halftime. You came off 2 big wins over Elizabethton and Greenville. 2 big.
Those were just beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful.
2 big roadblocks right there that they hadn't got past in the playoffs, and so I'm sure they were up for the game against Red Bank, but you're coming off that big win over Greenville. It's week after week after week, it's hard to keep getting up.
Yeah, you might still have a little bit of wonderful stars in your eyes.
And they were playing at Red Bank, and they might have had a little jitters.
Oh yeah.
I heard they dropped a couple touchdown passes there in the first half.
Uncharacteristic, no doubt.
Uncharacteristically, they were sort of right, and I was telling someone that, I think they'll be all right when they just need to settle down. And
oh yeah,
they recovered a fumble to begin the third quarter, and might have been Andrew Meyer that recovered that. I'm not sure, but they went in and scored there. Then got the ball back, scored again. And I knew then that they were on their way.
Oh yeah, when I heard the final score, my wife and I just started jumping up and down. It was a nice win.
And some of the top performers in that Red Bank win for Anderson County was Walker Martinez, 18 of 29 passing, 175 yards and 1 touchdown. Also Nick Moog, one of their running backs, had 19 carries, 76 yards, and Gavin Noe, he toted the rock, 29 carries, Walter, for 135 rushing yards.
My goodness, that's good running.
So Coach Gillum, they were running the football and passing as well, very balanced. Bryson Val had 9 catches for 112 receiving yards and 1 touchdown. So that's just some of the top football performances that were in the News Sentinel. So, once again, congratulations to Anderson County going to the state championship.
Glad to see it.
Moving down to 5A, and I watched some of this game on Friday night. Did you watch some of this?
I watched some of it, yes.
And I was sort of surprised that Powell the score was that close. Maybe it shouldn't have been. Powell's defending 5A state champs, and, they're a proud program, and they lost their first 2 games of the year and was on a 11-game winning streak, and they gave West all they wanted.
Well, I sort of thought that once they got going after those first 2 losses, they would be hard to handle, and they really gave West just about all they could handle. So that certainly was a good win for West. West is solid, though.
Certainly are. They're undefeated, and they scored the fourth quarter to break a 21-21 tie. I think Powell was down 21-6, and then Powell got the ball, but he turned it over. They were late in the game. West was able to hang on for that win, and just a big win for their coach, Lamar Brown. There at West came from Morristown West. And West is going back to the state finals. They won a state, I think it was 2014 or
Right.
15, one of those.
2014.
So they're back in it, and we'll be looking at the matchups for the teams that advanced here in a little bit later in the show. Moving on up to 6A, and Oakland over Maryville, 38-15, and I saw where this is the 9th straight year they had played each other in the state semis.
That's quite amazing, and Oakland now has a 5-4 advantage.
And yeah, that's about as competitive as you can get.
You better believe it. Maryville, though, seems slightly down for them, but if I did that well and being slightly down, I think you might say you're a very good program.
Yeah, certainly. It was sort of, I guess you could say it was a down year for Maryville.
Exactly, yes.
They lost to Alcoa, which that's no shame in that. Lost to West, two really good teams there. And
So,
other loss.
well, I wanted to say, was it West?
Yeah, West
Won out.
Alcoa, and there was a shocker win. It was Cleveland, yeah.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah, Cleveland got them, and of course they lost their running back. Maryville did in one of the games there towards the end of the year. He's committed to Virginia. Name escapes me right now, but we had another player stepped in big for them. But so yeah, I guess Oakland's won the last 2 meetings if they're up 5-4.
Right,
overall.
exactly.
Yeah. But looking back at some of the performances here in the paper for West, some of the names: Marshawn Bowers, Braden Latham, 31 carries, 145 yards. Going back to Bowers, he had that interception return for a touchdown. I believe he's just a junior. And 2 rushing touchdowns. And Jaquarius Wren, it might have been Wren that he had an interception as well. 6 tackles and 1 50-yard punt return. So yeah. And for Powell, Jordan Potts, he led that comeback, 21-37, 240 yards, 1 passing touchdown, also had 13 carries for 37 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. I believe he's committed to Tennessee Tech. And Aiden Green had 6 catches for 108 yards and 1 touchdown. I saw where he recently decommitted from Cincinnati.
Oh, yes, I heard about that yesterday.
Did you hear anything where he's
No, I didn't hear just that he decommitted. But
Tennessee in on him, you think? Or
that's a possibility, I think.
right. He's an outstanding player. Got good size. He's good leaping ability.
Oh, yeah.
Just an outstanding athlete. So some of the players there in our local area that participating in the playoffs last week, and also mentioned for West Braden Latham. He's up for the Mr. Football.
Okay.
He's up against Deshaun Bishop of Carnes and Malachi Dow, White County.
Okay.
And Dow, I read something on him. He was close to breaking the all-time rushing record that Jalen Hurd holds that Bishop broke last year.
Really?
Dow was he was pushing it too. I'm not sure what he ended up with, but they were in the playoffs. And
So he was close to Bishop as far as the amount of yards?
yeah, and he's like close. He's getting close to 3,000 yards. He might have topped that.
Right.
White County, I know they were in the playoffs. I'm not sure how many games they played in. But yeah, he was up there. And that Maryville, that running back for Maryville, Noah Vaughn, that was his name. He's up for the 6A Mr. Football. And see if we got any more here local. And Alcoa, Jordan Harris, and Lance Williams. Williams is the big lineman.
Oh, yes.
Harris, I think he's a running back, I believe, maybe. Not sure. And 1A. Looking down at 1A, don't see it. Oh, there it is. Really nobody locally in 1A. 2A, nobody locally. But do have some finalists in 3A and 4A, and also 5A and 6A. So
Okay.
So East Tennessee spreading the wealth around.
You better believe it.
Outstanding football players. So we're going ahead and take our first break of the night. We right back to look at the matchups for the state finals. You're watching Locker Room Chat.
At OEB Law, our home is your home. And your family is our family. And down here, family takes care of family. Giving back and helping out whenever needed. OEB Law is proud to be from East Tennessee. OEB Law feels like home.
There's a lot of talk about the risks associated with the COVID-19 vaccine, but the reality is, it's safer than being tackled by a Tennessee Titan. Give it a shot. Find a free vaccine appointment today at covid19.tn.gov.
Pat Ryan here with Kathy Mae Martin. If you're thinking of buying or selling real estate, then make the right play call and contact Kathy Mae Martin for all your real estate needs. Kathy's 30-plus years of knowledge and experience gives her clients the competitive edge. You know, like me on game day. Kick is up and it's good. Kathy Mae Martin for all your real estate needs.
Earl Duff Pre-Owned Center in Harriman is East Tennessee's best choice for pre-owned vehicle sales and service. Earl Duff is a name you know and trust, and we have been meeting the automotive needs of Roane and surrounding counties for over 49 years. Shopping with us is easy, and we treat our customers like family. From sales to finance to service, we're your one-stop shop for everything automotive. Don't settle for less with your next pre-owned vehicle purchase. Come to Earl Duff Pre-Owned Center in Harriman or online at duffpreowned.com.
We treat you like family at RMG. Bring your junk, cars, aluminum cans. We buy it on the spot and we pay you a lot. We treat you like family at RMG. Yeah, we treat you like family at RMG. We treat you like family.
Rome Metals is located just off of Highway 27 between Harriman and Rockwood.
Okay. Welcome back into the Locker Room Chat and talking high school football here, and also like to recognize Barrett Maddox at Clinton High School.
Oh, yes.
Committed last week to Vanderbilt.
That's mighty fine. I wish he'd go to Tennessee, but, you know, I'm just glad he was able to go to a big-time school. So.
Yeah, 31 offers. I think UCLA was one of them. Kansas, Middle Tennessee. Just had several schools. I don't think Tennessee was one of his offers, but he's a 3-star offensive lineman that played at Clinton the last 2 years. He came to Clinton, I think, from Central.
Yeah.
Going into his junior year, and this year as well, he played for Coach Darrell Keith at Clinton. So, congratulations to Barrett Maddox. He's a big boy, about 6'6".
Close to what, 280 or something like that?
We had him on the show, and he has to be a bright young man too to be going to Vanderbilt.
You better believe it.
I'd heard back during the recruiting process that's where he wanted to go. He was sort of waiting for that offer, and sure enough, he got it. But Clinton will definitely miss him next year.
Things are sort of up and coming for Vanderbilt these days, football-wise, too, it seems like. So.
Yeah, except for last Saturday night.
Oh, right, exactly.
We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. But Chandler's got the matchups here, and for the finals, the Blue Cross. It's the Blue Cross Bowl. Is that what you call it?
Yes.
Blue Cross. Is it Blue Cross Blue Shield? Or?
I don't know about the Blue Shield, but
Yeah. Used to be the Clinic Bowl.
yes, I remember that.
Remember that cold night in Nashville?
Oh, yes.
You was in the press box, wasn't
We certainly were.
you? You and Charlie?
Actually, myself and my wife were in the press box.
Oh, okay.
Ron.
Was Fannin in there with
No, but I think he wanted to be.
you? Yeah. It was cold that night, I remember.
Actually, Jim Hollingsworth was there also.
Okay, yeah, Hollingsworth, he was really good. Y'all made a good team. But here, let's look at these state final matchups, Walter, and we'll make our predictions. Last week, I think you took Cofield and I took Clay County. I think that's the only one we had different, I believe.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So it's Clay County Bulldogs 13-1 at the McKenzie Rebels. And gosh, I should know this. McKenzie's 14-0. I think they're defending champs.
Runner-ups 2007 and 2021.
Oh, does it say that there?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, my bad.
That's right, Jim.
There, yeah. Thank you, Chandler. It's right there in front of me. Yeah, the runner-up, McKenzie Rebels 14-0, and Clay County Bulldogs 13-1. Wow. Also, McKenzie has a player up for Mr. Football. And where's that at? No, I'm mistaken. I'm mistaken on that. Thought they did, but
Well, being 14-0, there would be certainly a good chance of that. So.
it's on here somewhere. Well, I've got missing one there. Oh, here it is over here. 1A, yeah, McKenzie, there it is. Jackson Cassidy.
Okay.
I don't know what position he plays, but he's up for Tennessee Titan Mr. Football, along with Camaro Brown of Memphis Academy of Science and Engineering and Isaiah Thomason of Fayetteville. But Clay County coming off that win over Cofield. What do you think about this game, Walter? This will be what time? This game will be at 3 o'clock on Friday in Chattanooga. Who you going to pick in this one?
Well, it's sort of a shot in the dark because I don't know much about them.
Clay County's first ever appearance in the finals. I think that was their second semifinal appearance going back to 1985 against Cofield.
I will go with the McKenzie Rebels for the sheer fact that they were runner-ups last year and probably won't have quite as many butterflies in this game coming.
Yeah, they probably return a lot of players off that squad that finished runner-up, and so I'll go with McKenzie as well. I like their nickname too.
Oh yes.
Throwback to the old Clinton Rebels. Ain't it?
You better believe it. I remember that real well.
And that's Clinton Junior High. For those of you out there that did not know that. Okay.
I think they changed in 1989, if I.
They're the Hawks now.
Exactly.
2A, Tyner Academy Rams, 13-1, fourth finals appearance. As you see right there, championship in 1997 in Class AA. And pretty good history right there.
Yeah,
runner-up.
they've got a good resume.
Runner-up in '96, and in 2017, they bounced around a little bit, 3A to 2A. They're taking on the Riverside Panthers, 2-2 from Decaturville in their first finals appearance. And I leave Tyner as a player. Mr. Football here. Yes, sir. Josh Jackson, 2A, Mr. Football finalist. I'm going to take the Rams to win the 2A state championship over the Riverside Panthers.
That's what I'll do as well. 13-1 of the year, and with that good a resume, I think it'll happen.
Don't really know anything about Riverside. I know one of Anderson County's baseball coaches, he went to Riverside. I know that. He coached last year for Anderson County in baseball for Coach Josh Boynton. So, all right, let's go up to 3A, and this one will be an easy pick. Alcoa Tornadoes 13-1, one loss to the West Rebels against the East Nashville Eagles 12-2. And East Nashville, they were runner-up last year, and it's their second finals appearance. And you can see Alcoa's impressive resume.
Yeah, very impressive. And with their quarterback, who was the Region 2 3A Player of the Year, Jordan Harris, the Player of the Year, and Lineman of the Year, Lance Williams, as well for Alcoa. So they are loaded with a lot of top-notch players.
So Jordan Harris is the quarterback, the Alcoa.
Well, he was the player of the. I may have said he was the quarterback, but he was the Player of the Year.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and read that list off there, Walter. 23 finals appearances.
Yeah, 23 finals appearances for Alcoa out of Blount County, and 20 championships, 2 runner-ups, and last 7 straight all-time playoff record. And they had it at 7 straight wins before this in the I guess it was, 2014 or a little bit before that. All-time playoff record, 129-15.
Wow, look at that playoff record.
Good Lord. That is just unbelievable. That's domination with a big-time exclamation point.
Do you remember, throwing some more Clinton history out there, I can't help it, but do you remember, I know you do, in 1976, the J.C. Bowl?
Oh, yeah.
Was 76, right?
What, that they played Alcoa?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I do remember that.
Yep, 76. It snowed. It snowed there at Clinton. And Alcoa came in. They had a big lineman, went to UT, Todd Upton.
Yes.
Played, and Clinton had a good team that year. They had 2 players that signed SEC scholarships. And Larry Cannon went to Auburn. Bruce Creekmore went to Vanderbilt. Had Johnny Burham at quarterback. Had the late, great Ricky Wallace at tight end. Clinton had a good team. I think they were 7-3 that year. It started off like 5-0, but Alcoa came into Clinton and beat the Dragons that night. I do remember it snowing.
You've got a good memory.
Did you do that? You did that game, I guess.
Yeah, I helped on that game with Charlie that year, yes.
I do remember that, but Alcoa's been good for a long time. Let's go up to the 4A and talk about them Mavericks.
Unbelievable.
Anderson County Mavericks, 14-0, going for their first undefeated season in team history. First appearance in the state in the 40-year history of the school. Taking on Pearl Cone Firebirds, 12-2, and Pearl Cone's got quite a bit of history.
They certainly do. And with the Mavericks, with Martinez, 3,856 yards, passing this year and 52 touchdown passes. And running backs that they're loaded with and wide receivers, I think they're going to win this game.
Yes, I'm definitely taking Anderson County. Pearl Cone, as you see, their 5th finals appearance, 2 state championships, back-to-back, 96 and 97, defeated Halls and Maryville, and had Big John Henderson on those teams that played at University of Tennessee. And 2 runner-ups in 2015, 2019. In 15, they lost to Catholic, and in 19, they lost to Alcoa. They were a 3A school in 19, and all the other appearances, they were 4A.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, Pearl Cone, they can score some points now. They lost their first 2 games of the year.
Oh, really? I didn't realize
Certainly
that.
did. You got their schedule right there, Pearl Cone. There's their schedule this year. As you can see, they lost their first 2 games to Cane Ridge and Montgomery Bell Academy. Montgomery Bell's a big private school.
You better believe they're solid as a rock.
Are they still alive? Let me look down here in the private sector. Yeah, NBA,
Yeah.
they're playing tomorrow night against Baylor, 7 o'clock.
I think they beat the stuffing off somebody a week or two that was unbelievable what the final score
Yeah.
was.
NBA's that's the highest you can get, ain't Division II, AAA.
Yeah.
So they're 12-0 and playing Baylor 10-2, and I think, is it Gary Rutledge still coach Montgomery Bell? He
I think so.
former quarterback for Alabama. Anyway, go back to Pearl Cone here. You see that they lost their first 2, sort of like Powell, and then they rattled off all those wins, and look at them point totals they put up.
Good. 77-0 against Glencliff. Good night. Lawrence County 55, Tullahoma 45. Goodness gracious.
And Tullahoma won the state last year.
And they beat them 45-0. Whoa.
I think Tullahoma dropped off a little bit, though,
Okay.
but maybe a lot. I don't think that schedule. I'm not sure about those teams there. I don't think they're as good as Anderson County's teams that they played.
Anderson County mainly
I
has
know.
played Murders Row this year.
Yeah, Montgomery Bell's,
All big time.
of course they're big time. And Cane Ridge, they lost to them. Seemed like they had been ranked this year coming
Yeah.
in. But they can score some points there. They beat Haywood. They were 13-0 last week, 53-47. So,
Good night.
but they give up. Other than Montgomery Bell and Haywood, their defense is
Yeah, pretty good.
pretty solid. Anderson County's coming in. They're averaging, I think, 44 points a game going into last week. So Firebirds better be ready to play some defense against the Mavericks. But we're both taking AC in this one.
Definitely. I know Anderson County, which I've got a little bit of stats on, Moog has 1,344 yards on the year, and No, which has, as far as at running back, played sparingly because of a lot of injuries, had 658 yards, and they're both full power now. So
Moog had over 13.
yeah, 1,344 yards.
I know the last 2 years he's been over 14, I believe.
Yeah.
So, wow. 1-2 punch right there. Here's Anderson County's schedule. You can see the quality of teams they have played. Started off the defending 5A champs and just put a whooping on them. I know the quarterback Potts, I don't know if he's hurt going into that game. Seemed like he was, but he played and he got knocked out. But Anderson County all over them. And went up to Science Hill, who advanced to to the quarterfinals, losing to Maryville. Look at that, 48-6. Fulton had a good team this year. You know, they were in a playoff. They were a playoff team, 35-7. Ray County only won, I think, 2 games this year, but
They're the best two-win team
Yeah.
I've ever known of.
yeah, they played a murderer's row schedule too. They played Alcoa, and I don't know who all else they played, but
I looked at it that only 2 teams on their schedule were just subpar, and I won't even name them, but 2 of the teams on that
Yeah.
whole schedule are below average.
and they played Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge knocked them out in the playoffs. So yeah, they played a quality schedule. South
yeah.
Doyle, took a step back this year, but they hammered them. Elizabethan, that's at one of the games we mentioned. They
Oh,
came
that's
back and won.
unreal.
Got revenge. Well, they beat them twice this year. I'm gonna say revenge, but yeah, I guess from last playoff year. Went to Carter. Carter was, going in, I thought Carter might give them a game, but they were been playing good football at that time. They went over there to Straw Plains and just a 4-way in, or what they call
yeah.
it, but put the hammer down on them. Gibbs had a pretty decent team, I thought, this year.
Oh, yeah,
They could score some points, and 55-24. Bearden right there came to AC. Bearden, a playoff team as well, knocked off Dobbins Bennett in the first round. And
Beard was one of the surprise teams all season long, really.
I guess that's the closest game. Well, I don't say closer. I mean, Elizabeth was close, and Ray County, that's close.
Right.
Yeah, Bearden 7-point game. That's a big quality win there. Went to Scott County, took care of business. Seymour's going to be in AC's region next year.
Oh, okay.
They're losing Scott, and then they're picking up Seymour.
Seymour was quite good back in the 1990s. I think their coach, though, retired, and they've been going through to get back to the way they used to be. So,
Right. They were a smaller school back then,
yeah.
3A, I think, or 2 or 3A. Then you see Elizabeth and the win there, and Greenville win. They just
That was the game to really celebrate, and just after you've lost to them 7 straight times and finally get that monkey off your back, that just feels good.
certainly, and the Red Bank win. So good competitive schedule. I know Coach Gillum wanted to upgrade it, and he certainly did.
Oh, he did that.
Yeah, he did that. So hats off to him, and see who they play next year. I'm sure it'll be tough as well.
There's really 12 out of 14 teams were average or super. So, I mean, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, you look there. Every one of those teams, every one of them's in the playoffs except for Scott and South Doyle, I think. Okay, let's go up to 5A. West Rebels 14-0 versus the Page Patriots 12-2, and Page was runner-up last year. And West coming in undefeated, their third finals appearance. Won state title in 2013 and a runner-up in 14. So, and I think that one they lost, they could have easily won that, but they're taking on Page out of Franklin, Tennessee. So Page is, they got a good team. They're runner-ups last year.
Oh,
so
yes.
this will be a good game right here, and this will be Friday night. Friday night at 7 o'clock. You can watch this game.
That's going to be a good one. West has left no prisoners, or they took all the prisoners and ran away with it all season long. I mean, they beat everybody they've ran into, and really, I think they're going to win this one too. But I think it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, Page defeated Henry County last week, 27-24. In a close game. So Henry County's they're always there, seem like.
Oh, yes.
I think, well, that was Henry County that beat Powell. I was thinking that Powell was going to win the state back around that time, and Henry County come back, and, you know, Powell lost a heartbreaker, I remember. I don't know what year that was, but yeah, some of the other scores going back here, I've got it here in front of me. I didn't read. McKenzie defeated Mace last week, that Memphis Academy of Science and Engineering. Riverside 26-13 over Huntington. Ain't that where Coach Majors played? Huntington?
Sewanee, but
Well, that's college, but
okay.
Johnny
Yeah,
Majors.
I think it was
Huntington. I think so. East Nashville's over Covington 41-15. They'll play Alcoa. Of course, Pearl-Cone 53-47 over Haywood. And 6A game, of course, we'll just pick 5A. We're both going to take West, I guess. Yeah.
Yes.
And in 6A, Oakland be taking on Beach. And that game will be on Saturday night, 7 o'clock. Oakland 13-1 against Beach, 13-1.
My goodness.
And Oakland's been one of the top teams. You know, they've been probably the top team in the state and the public all year. You know,
Yeah.
Everybody widely considered that. Their one loss was to a private school, I believe. Might have been a team from out of state. I'm not.
Well, this is a big-time resume right here.
See, Murfreesboro 10th finals appearance, 6 championships, 4 runner-ups.
Goodness.
84, 98, 2008, 18, 20, and 21. They really came on here in the last 5 years.
Oh, yes, very much so.
And then the runner-ups in the 80s and even in 16. A lot of history there. Oakland Patriots and the Beach Buccaneers out of Hendersonville. Their 4th finals appearance, 2 championships in 09 and 2012. The 09 team, I remember that team, I was hoping our Dragons would have made it, but AC upset them in 09 and got down to Columbia and lost in a crazy game that I'm sure the AC fans are still upset about. A lot of officiating that game was, I wasn't there, but just listening to it, it was pretty rough calls, I think, went against the Mavericks that night. But yeah, one runner-up in 2017, I think 2012, I guess Jalen Hurd, I think, might have been on that team. He played in one of those state championships. I remember watching him, I think. Maybe not. I don't. See, Hurd played at Tennessee in 16. We played for Butch Jones in 15, 16.
Right.
So, not sure if he was on that 2012 team or not, but I'll take Oakland on this one.
Yeah, with the resume they have there, they both have great resumes. I'll go with Oakland as well. Oakland seems like they've been around in the hunt forever and a day. But
Okay, we're going to take another break. We'll be back to wrap it up. If you got a question or comment, give us a call. We'll be here till 9 o'clock. So we'll be right back. We'll talk some Tennessee football and where they're possibly go in a bowl game.
If you've been injured in an accident, let OEB Law fight for you. We will fight the insurance companies every step of the way. Call OEB Law today and turn your wreck into a check.
I choose Rome Medical Center because this is where my heart is. My family and friends use Rome Medical Center, and I want everyone that comes through our doors to have an experience that makes them as proud of Rome Medical Center as I am. I'm Nancy Easter, Manager of Materials at Rome Medical Center, and I'm so happy to work for an employer that values me and makes me feel appreciated.
Find out why Roan Medical Center is the best choice for your future in healthcare. Learn more at roanmedicalcenter.com.
There's a lot of talk about the risks associated with the COVID-19 vaccine, but the reality is it's safer than being tackled by a Tennessee Titan. Give it a shot. Find a free vaccine appointment today at covid19.tn.gov.
On-Site Care, now located in Kingston, is accepting new patients. Nurse practitioner Candace Templeton has over 25 years of healthcare experience in offering management of chronic care conditions. On-Site Care offers free sports physicals for established patients. Plus, On-Site Care offers hormone replacement therapy with compounded pellets. On-Site Care accepts most major insurance plans and offers affordable self-pay options as well. Call 865-285-9588 to schedule an appointment at On-Site Care.
Earl Duff Pre-Owned Center in Harriman is East Tennessee's best choice for pre-owned vehicle sales and service. Earl Duff is a name you know and trust, and we have been meeting the automotive needs of Roan and surrounding counties for over 49 years. Shopping with us is easy, and we treat our customers like family. From sales to finance to service, we're your one-stop shop for everything automotive. Don't settle for less with your next pre-owned vehicle purchase. Come to Earl Duff Pre-Owned Center in Harriman or online at duffpreowned.com.
If you've been injured in an accident and you've been getting a cold shoulder, then let OEB Law put the insurance companies on ice. As many times as it takes. Call OEB Law and leave the icing to the professionals.
Welcome back into the locker room chat. We got about 7 minutes left in the show, and high school basketball is going on, Walter. We ain't talked about it much at all, and they started back in around mid-November, I believe, so they've been playing a few weeks. So Chandler's got us some scores on basketball. Real quick, we're going to run through them. Not going to read them all off or anything, but you can look at those scores. This is girls right here. Cofield got a win. Carnes big over Clinton. That was sort of surprising there. I heard Carnes got a couple twins on that team. They're really good. Anderson County picked up a win last night at Central. Halls and Powell. Powell girls are down a little bit. They're usually really good.
Oh, yeah.
Seymour with the win. Sunbright, you can see the scores. Campbell County girls went down. They're usually really good, too. Oliver Springs losing to Midway. And okay, the boys' scores. There's a North City over Carter. The boys of Greenback over Cofield. They got a new coach there. They got a lady coach there, Carmen Hines.
I've heard that name.
She used to coach, long-time girls coach there at Cofield. We'll have to get her on the show. Carnes 6-point over the Dragons. Clinton lost a lot, but I hear they're real scrappy. They play Anderson County tomorrow night at Clinton, so that'll be a good one. If you're a Clinton or AC fan, you want to come out and watch that game at the Donnie Dome. Carnes got a good team this year, I hear. Put it on Science Hill.
Oh, they did that big time.
Mm-hmm. Central over Anderson County last night, 70-57. Anderson County still got some football players out. They're going to be a real competitive team this year for Coach Jordan Jeffers in his first year at Anderson County. Seymour 2 points over Scott. Sunbright with the win. Hardin Valley over Campbell County. Union County scored 96. Rockwood, big win over Sale Creek. And Halls over Powell in the rivalry game right there. Halls, I think, picked to win, and the boys in that district, I think they're picked to win that with Clinton, AC, and Scott. And Carter over Lenore City. So we've got a few minutes left in the show. Talk bowl projection for the Vols. Anything you want to say about Tennessee?
Well, I don't like the politics of it. The fact that we've defeated Alabama twice, we have a lot better strength of schedule, and they're holding the South Carolina loss too much against us and letting Alabama, because of their great trademark resume in recent years, and they have us ranked higher than us, and I don't appreciate that. And I don't like how Ohio State gets preferential treatment. But
Ohio State might wind up in the playoffs
exactly
if USC loses or TCU loses.
But politics will be politics. So.
Right? You think Hendon Hooker being out? Do you think that swayed the committee? I mean, Tennessee's probably not as good without him. You think? And you think they look at that, or if they had Hooker, you think they'd probably still be behind Alabama?
Probably so, because they look at the marquee name. Alabama and Ohio State are marquee names, and that's what people look at.
Alabama might slip up in. Who knows? I mean, who knows what's going to happen in these championship games. But Georgia's still number one. They play LSU. Talk about bowl projections. I got a scoop today from a reliable source. Somebody is sort of a third party, but somebody knows someone at the Music City Bowl is on the committee, and they're saying that Ohio State, if they do not make the playoffs, they do not want to go to the Rose Bowl. There's a caveat in there to where if they don't want to go to the Rose Bowl, they can opt out and go to another bowl. And if that happens, they would probably go to the Orange Bowl and play Clemson or North Carolina. And then Bama's going to the Sugar Bowl because they're the top-rated SEC team. Since they're above Tennessee, that's another thing that screws the Vols. So they would go to the Sugar, and the Vols, I guess, would be left with the Cotton.
With the Cotton Bowl probably against Penn State. Maybe.
Cotton Bowl, Penn State. Or
UCF or Tulane.
Yeah, I think that one of them goes to that.
Okay.
And there's a possibility, they said, that Tennessee could slide down to the Citrus Bowl.
Or it makes you think of years gone by with Steve Spurrier saying we're always citrus.
Yeah, he took a shot at us again. Said something there last week after we lost to South Carolina. But
30 seconds.
But yeah, I don't really want to play Tulane though. Nothing against them or Central Florida. You know, that's where hype will come from. I'd like to really play a bigger name opponent.
Exactly. Clemson or North Carolina.
Okay, that's going to do it here for the Locker Room Chat. For Chandler back in the back making it happen. For Walter Stair, my name is John Williams. And go Mavericks, and we'll see you next week on the Locker Room Chat.
Thank you.